The workers provided evidence of their continuing correspondence with managers. They believe they received the vintage correctional officer knows more than she says and notices more than you realize shirt notifications for speaking up about their concerns with working conditions at the plant. I worked part-time there for 4 years and figured out the only way to get a good raise was to lie about being able to repair small engines and worked in the tool rental department, fixing tools. Can't imagine you've worked all that long if you think you've seen people promoted on the basis of competency, not connection. I would have thought better of them. It takes 10 people to start a union in your store. Check your state rules. But I think at that point they cannot fire you. I say check your state rules because some are, at will, states. I am so thankful that my store has Teamsters representing us. And I work in a state that values unions. Vintage correctional officer knows more than she says and notices more than you realize shirt. Tank top. V-neck. Ladies' tee for men and women. V-neck. We are now counting people. Both entrances are now open. If you didn't have Walmart in their vintage correctional officer knows more than she says and notices more than you realize shirt, I would be confused about which giant corporate store you are talking about. I can name a dozen companies that will fire you for uttering the word union and I didn't even work there. Depends. Some unions threaten employees and their families. Slash tires. Break windows. Etc. Only your favorite sports team or actor or police or firefighter deserve a union. They didn't even bother showing us anti-union videos. It takes 10 people to start a union in your store. When I worked retail, we used to joke about not saying the U word in a positive context. I read it as onion instead of union and I was extremely confused. Guess I definitely need to go to sleep. Official vintage correctional officer knows more than she says and notices more than you realize. Sweatshirt. Hoodie. Sweatshirt. Hoodie. It should be super illegal for them to vintage correctional officer knows more than she says and notices more than you realize shirt do so. God's labor laws have really slipped away from us. Our ancestors fought hard for our labor rights, then for some fucking reason we damn near gave it all away. It's a fucking shame is what it is. When the corporations are telling its workers to not form a union, that's when you need to form a union. Please be aware of your rights as a worker. If they fire you or retaliate against for talking about wages, work conditions with your coworkers off the clock, call the NLRB and they'll let you know your next steps. I used to do it anyway because fuck them and I was too good a worker for them to be able to justify firing me until I left on my own.